Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of Think Business Live. Looking forward to talking with Carlyn Roth. Carlyn, it's great to connect with you. You're the new owner of Lee's Paperie, formerly Lee's Specialty. So it's great to connect with you. What's interesting in the Think community, we're going to talk about this, is Carlyn recently bought a business that the previous owner owned it for 36 years. The owner before that owned it for about 20 years. So we're going to dive into what it's like to take over a business and a brand and things of that nature, which sounds really exciting. But I always like to kick things off, Carlyn. As a business coach, I work with people all over the globe who are stuck, and I get them unstuck. I always like to open up with talking about where's your stuck and how have you been getting unstuck?
It's a good question. Well, I think I'm in a unique position that like kind of taking over an existing business that everyone knew. So taking like all of the really good parts of that and kind of running with it. And then also taking newer, ideas and, innovations and stuff and kind of like making it my own.
Yeah.
While still keeping everyone happy that loved it and bringing in new people that might have shied away from it for one reason or another.
Yeah. And I'm sure you get a lot of feedback kind of on both sides, people loving the innovation and maybe, kind of the resistance to a little bit of change.
For sure. I mean, down to like a specific calligraphy pen that we don't carry anymore. Yeah.
Yeah. And how have you been able to kind of, walk people through that to give them the same kind of, comfort that they need when they walk in your store?
Yeah, that's a great question. So two things. I mean, I've tried to make decisions based on previous consumers and say like, well, we might not carry this, but you might love this new product or, something like this. I also have the great fortune of retaining the old staff, including the previous owner.
Yeah.
So I can always be like, but I would love for you to talk to the old owner and discuss like, here, like you guys would be great, discussing these issues. And so I can always kind of like lead them to a familiar face and they feel so much better about that.
Yeah. There's a couple of things as you're talking. It's interesting because I think people love predictability. They love, kind of knowing what's gonna happen. But I also think sometimes, and I find myself coaching my clients like this, sometimes people don't necessarily know what they want or what they need until you kind of put it in front of them. And they don't know they need a little bit of a change until you kind of give it to them. So, so that's great. So keep on doing that. So let's talk about you. As somebody who is now in the retail space, and somebody who's taken over a business with almost 60-year lineage, what was your thinking of, hey, I'm going to take over this store, and I'm going to, kind of put my own voice into it as well?
Yeah. So it was not planned. It was like a very spur of the moment situation. My previous job and still my current job is a wedding planner. So I used to take my clients to Lee's to get all of their invitations, day of stuff, all of that. So I was super familiar with the store. And when the previous owner kind of decided to abruptly close due to some family circumstances and other things, my first reaction was, oh my gosh, like, where am I taking my clients? Like, what am I going to do? Like, what am I supposed to do about this? And then it kind of morphed into like, but wait, like, I think this is really an opportunity.
Yeah.
People were coming into the store and just from all of these, when they heard the store was closing, they were coming into the store saying, oh my God, like, what are we going to do? Like, where are we supposed to go for these things? And I was like, wait a second. Like, this can still work. Like, there's still a need for this in the community. This is like an institution. And when people know the store and hear that it's still around or that I've taken it over or whatever, people are like, oh my God, we're so happy. Like, we didn't know what we were going to do. We love this store and like all of these things. So
yeah, that's great. Yeah. What's been your biggest challenge as as a new business owner?
I'll be completely honest, the financials of taking over a business and kind of, I believe like every time you kind of take over something new or go into something new, you should really take stock of like what's working, what's not working, what's going to help you keep up with the times and all of that. And I think like, you know, COVID also has really affected like the wedding planning industry. So it's
Right.
affected like all these different aspects where, shipping's more expensive, labor's more expensive, paper is more expensive. So kind of adjusting those expectations for people, but still keeping them as loyal customers because your customers are everything. So
Yeah. Yeah, I find myself when I'm talking to coaching a lot of my clients, things as you're talking. I think a lot of times people don't know the importance of the operations, and
mhm.
it's so important to know what your profit and losses are each week, and the accounts receivable, and your contracts versus your invoice, and your weekly sales, and how many people you think are in the pipeline, kind of coming in and out, and tracking all of those trends, and then reverse engineering it to the marketing and all of that type of prepping. As you've taken over the store and you have the old owner there, how are you and that's a common thing many times when people do that. They when they buy a business, the old people stay, but sometimes it's harder to find your voice when that person is still there. So
Completely.
how are you able to kind of implement things that you want to when the energy of that still exists?
Yeah, I mean, that is a great point that I think a lot of people who don't necessarily know the whole situation are like, "Oh, like how's that going?" It's like, well, it could have gone really poorly or it could go well. And I think
Right.
so far it's going really well in that she respects the fact that it is my decision now, but is also a wonderful supporter. Like in simple things like buying something. She might say, well, I mean, it wouldn't be like my choice, but I think it could be cool to
Right.
bring that in, you know? Or she will honestly say, like, oh yeah, no, that's not gonna work. And I will respect that opinion because she still has like a ton of, you know, returning customers looking for similar things. Um, but no, she's been very supportive. And I mean, I think sometimes it is hard because in a way, like you want to take stock of the things that worked and didn't work. And if something didn't, you don't think something worked, but it was like the previous owner at the helm, you want to like handle that very delicately and not
Yeah.
just be like, wow, this is what was terrible before, but this is what we're doing. So I definitely think it's like a dance. My personality is not like a hostile takeover situation. I definitely am more collaborative. So I think that helps. I Yes, there's three people that work for me, but like I don't really feel that way. Like we
Yeah.
all work together.
Yeah. That's great. I mean, yeah, I mean, leadership today is important to kind of make people feel unified and together. I think that's great. As you as you look forward to in the business, um, it seems like the wedding business is getting stronger and stronger, right? Um, and I know Pat Blackwell has been on the show before, Red Coat Ladies, and I've talked to her. I just recently ran into her at a bar mitzvah, and she was telling me how busy her schedule is. How do you see your industry evolving over the next couple of years?
So, um, I mean, the wedding business is just crazy. It's insane. There's so many opportunities out there for entrepreneurs in the wedding business. And even as a wedding planner, I used to say, I was on my own for 12 years and worked for another planner for 11 years before that. And like I always knew that there was opportunities for everyone within that one. I mean, Metro Detroit is not that big, but it is that big. I mean, there's so many different opportunities and I feel like a lot of people are concerned about invitations moving toward virtual. Um, paperless post online, totally understand that. But as of right now, I feel like the wedding industry is one of those last holdouts that they still want something that they can touch and feel and is traditional and classic. And so I feel strongly that that's still a business that we can definitely capitalize on.
Yeah, good. What does it take today to get somebody to walk in your door? From a marketing standpoint, so many things can be bought online. So many things can be done online. I don't even know if you are online. So I guess that's another question. But, my wife and I got our wedding invitations at Lee Specialties. We got my kids' bar and bat mitzvahs invitation at Lee Specialties. And so I've been there a lot. My stepmom Chicky used to sell her coffee candies.
Yeah.
There.
Oh, people still come. Let me tell you, people still come in and ask for that.
Yeah. They were the best. They were the best. Yeah. So what does it take today from a marketing standpoint to get somebody in the door? Because it takes more effort to, get up and get in your car and go somewhere when you can do stuff on your phone.
Totally.
Yeah.
So, couple things. Number one, we like to really offer personalized gifts, which you can still buy online and stuff like that. But like, there's really something about touching and feeling and saying like, oh, I love this bag and I love this monogram. This is exactly how I want it. Can you do this for me? The other thing that I really noticed online is the inability to really customize exactly the way you want. Yeah, of course, like point, click, I like this color, whatever. But if you're really, and a lot of the clientele, if you're looking for a specific shade of blue, you're not like ordering that from online. You're coming in and you're like, I want to match this hand towel that I had like 10 years ago and I can't find anywhere. And that's where we shine. We're like, yeah, okay, we got this. Like, we know how to do this. Right. So I think more of those like personalized things keeps people coming back. Also, like, I try not to buy things for the store that you can find on like Amazon or a lot of other places. I also try to bring in new stuff constantly. So you can come in and just like always see different things. We also, this may seem small, but people really like it. We also offer custom gift wrapping. So sometimes it's really nice just to come in and, get a really nice wrapped gift and leave. And also, you know what? I think yes, we do have a website, by the way, where you can online shop. You can also like ship from the site or order ahead and just pick up to make it easier. We definitely have that. But I think the movement to shop smaller is also there. I think people do like shopping locally, giving back to the community, supporting local stores, because I think for a while it's been like so many stores go out of business and you just like watch them fall. Yeah. So I think part of it is like people do understand how important it is. A lot of people don't, but I still think it's important.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I think, you're talking about something that I hear a lot, I coach to a lot, which is, creating the ultimate client experience through personalization and customization. Yeah. Right. And that is the key. Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, I appreciate that insight. Yeah. All right, Carolyn, quick speed round. You ready?
I'm ready.
A book, an article, or a TED Talk that's had a big impact on you?
Oh, gosh. There was actually a really recent one about luxury weddings that just went out in the Atlantic. And it was phenomenally written about like the secrets behind luxury weddings and how, I don't know. I could read a quote if you had time.
Oh, got it. An article. All right. The Atlantic has great articles. I haven't seen that one, but the Atlantic always has great articles. Great now, yeah. Best piece of wisdom you've ever received?
Oh God, this is not a speed round question. I would say, honestly, it's like literally be kind.
Yeah.
And that's literally it. Yeah. Like there are so many opportunities that have come my way just from being kind.
Yeah. And it's free. It's
free. And like businesses that I have built from the ground up, purely word of mouth and being kind. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. I would agree. Me too. I consider myself a very kind person and I've grown my business from the ground up. So from referrals and et cetera,
Yeah.
et cetera. So, all right, last question. Finish this sentence, Carolyn. One thing everybody can do to customize their business is?
Oh my God. Oh. Personalize it.
Okay, that's it. Good.
Yeah. Yeah.
I appreciate you taking time, Carolyn, to be on the show. Appreciate Joan Frank, Be Frank Communications, introducing us. Always appreciate the clients that she brings on here. You know, Think Community, we talk a lot on this show. I'm a business coach. I work with clients who are stuck, get them unstuck. I get to have guests on the show like Carolyn, who also can give you tips to get you unstuck. You said a lot of great things today, Carolyn, and I appreciate your story and your journey and how you took over a business and you're making it your own as well. But I want to extract the importance, Think Community, of really customizing, personalizing, and creating an experience for your clients. In today's world, if we don't do that, then we don't become a person of interest and a go-to of somebody that is going to be thinking of us on a continual basis. That's where business is gotten and retained. So I appreciate all of that. Carolyn, where can people connect with you if they want to learn more about you, the business, et cetera?
Yeah. So the website is www.leespaperie.com. That's LESPAPERIE. Email is info@leespaperie.com. And phone number is 248-671-4000.
All right. And your ideal client is?
Oh, someone that trusts me.
Who's looking for?
Oh, who's looking for the most beautiful invitations they've ever seen in their life.
All right, good. All right, Carolyn, thank you. Stay on for just a second. And Think Community, you can always reach me at jondwoskin.com. Carolyn, thanks a ton. Think Community, appreciate you all.
Thanks.